So we need to finish our tour with the attic. So we're currently still in Peter's room, and we need to go up the steps to the attic. So here we go.
The attic is used to store food. Anne occasionally comes up here to write and to enjoy the view of the sky and the chestnut tree. There's an unpleasant surprise up here one day, thanks to some rats. The thieves Mrs. Van Pels thought she'd heard in the attic turn out to be rats. When Peter goes to look with a torch, he just catches a couple of them scampering away. Moushy the cat is put in the attic, and things quieten down. But when Moushy isn't around and Peter goes up into the loft at around 8 in the evening to get some newspapers, the rats are there again. Peter reaches for the hatch, but grasps a fat rat instead. The creature bites his hand. Peter is bleeding heavily. Anne feels awful for him. There's blood soaking through his pajamas. He's as white as a sheet and shaking at the knees. No wonder. It's not much fun touching a large rat, and to then be bitten as well is really horrible.
That was an extremely dramatic rat story, but a lot of times kids ask, well, why didn't anybody live in the attic? The biggest reason was the rats, but also, I don't know if you've ever been in an attic, especially like my house growing up. Our attic would get really, really hot in the summer and really, really cold in the winter. So there's really no insulation. There's not, they didn't have air conditioning here. So they kind of had to deal with the temperature that was in here. So they did store food up here, but nobody could really live up here. And we're going to see that Anne would come up here sometimes. And so that'll be our next video.
Anne finds writing an increasingly enjoyable pursuit. In the summer of 1943, she starts writing her own short stories and fairy tales. Sometimes she reads them aloud to others in the secret annex. At her father's suggestion, she creates a book of beautiful sentences, a collection of her favourite sentences drawn from the works of well-known writers. On March the 28th, 1944, Anne hears Minister Bolkestein speaking on Radio Orange. After the war, he says, a collection will be set up to compile wartime diaries and letters. The speech makes a big impression on Anne. She decides to turn her diary into a book to be published after the war. She already has a title, The Secret Annex. Anne starts to rewrite and edit her diary. She edits out sections she finds too personal or boring and adds new bits. Every day she spends hours writing. She keeps this up for months, in spite of the difficult circumstances and the challenge of finding occasions where she can completely cut herself off and sit at a table to write in peace. With each passing day, she feels more certain of her ambition to use her talent for writing, either as a journalist or author. And if it turns out that she lacks the talent to write books or newspaper articles, she can always just write for her own pleasure.
So that's actually one of my favorite things about Anne, is that she wanted to be a writer, and that's actually what she's known for best now, is writing her diary. So it's kind of cool that she did achieve her dream. And then lastly, Anne draws comfort from nature.
There isn't much nature to be seen from the attic window, just a chestnut tree and the sky, but it's enough for Anne. She can lose herself in the raindrops on the tree branches and the colours in the sky. Gazing at the sky from the attic window on February the 23rd, 1944, she feels a rush of happiness.
As long as this exists, I thought, this sunshine and this cloudless sky, and as long as I can enjoy it, how can I be sad?
Anne's love of nature continues to grow. In June 1944, she wonders if it's because she's never allowed to put her head out of the window. When she was free to go outside, she never really wanted to.
I remember a time when a magnificent blue sky, chirping birds, moonlight, and budding blossoms wouldn't have captivated me. Things have changed since I came here. One night, during the Pentecost holiday, for instance, when it was so hot, I struggled to keep my eyes open until 11:30 so I could get a good look at the moon, all on my own for once. Alas, my sacrifice was in vain, since there was too much glare and I couldn't risk opening a window.
The clouds, the moon, the stars, and the heavens have a calming effect on her, she notes in her diary. It's much better than a tranquilizer. It makes her feel small and able to endure any blows.
So that will answer all of your questions for the worksheet. If you want to, you can continue exploring more of the annex. In fact, I'll show you the bathroom real quick because that's the one thing we didn't see. Here's a quick little explanation.
You can't really call it a bathroom. There's a toilet and a wash basin with only cold water. That's all. Everyone in the secret annex is allocated a daily time slot to come and wash here. Every evening from 9 to 9:30, this is where Anne performs her extensive beauty routine. The toilet can't be flushed very often during the day because those in the warehouse might hear it.
So yes, this is their bathroom. There is no shower, there is no tub. They would actually fill up basins with water and kind of bathe, like sponge baths, in other parts of the annex, but that would be it. The toilet is in this little room in here. And that would be it. One bathroom, 8 people, couldn't flush a lot. Think about that. It just wasn't very hospitable and very nice. But so that's the house. That's the annex. If you want to, you can explore more. You can see they could go down in these offices occasionally. There, you could even see in the back garden the tree that Anne really liked. I will show you the front really quick. This is what it looks like from the outside. If you see, like, the annex was behind this building and you can't see it. So from the front, it was a pretty good hiding place. You could see it from the back, however. But this is what it looks like. If you saw The Fault in Our Stars, this should look familiar because they traveled to Amsterdam and they traveled to the Anne Frank house, which, interestingly enough, they weren't able or allowed to film there. So they built an Anne Frank house in Pittsburgh at a soundstage. I wish they would have kept it up. We could tour it. Would be amazing, but they tore that down. So if you would like to explore more, if you're on your own, you are more than welcome to. The little blue things here are videos. You can go in these doors, and that's the annex. So hopefully it works for you. If not, hopefully my videos are working for you, and you are learning something and having a wonderful, wonderful week.